Dear learners, I am your English teacher Sudharani. Welcome to our English class. Now I am going to transact the lesson Gopal and the Hills of Fish from class 7 English lesson number 3. Come on, let's go to the lesson. Before that, let's take a look on overview of the lesson. Overview of the lesson. The main components of the lesson are: before you read, Gopal and the Hills of Fish, working with text, working with language, picture reading, the shared poem. Learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to tell the story on your own words, dramatize the Gopal and the Hills of Fish story, explain the significance of the challenge given to Gopal by the king and how he achieved it. Use reported speech forms which are presented in the comic story dialogues in your regular conversation. Summarize the plot and the main events of the story Gopal and the Hills of Fish. These are the targeted learning objectives through the lesson. Let's enter into the lesson segment before you read. Students, have you ever read a comic book? A comic book contains stories told mainly through pictures. In this class, let's see a comic story about Hills of Fish. Now, our lesson Gopal and the Hills of Fish is also a comic story. Are you ready to enjoy the story? Come on, let's start.
Gopal on the Hills of Fish. It was the season for Hills of Fish. Fishermen could think of nothing but hills of fish. Fishmongers sold nothing but hills of fish.
Come buy. The price of hills of fish is down today.
Householders could talk of nothing but hills of fish.
How much did you pay for that hilsa? You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
And in the palace too, the courtiers could discuss nothing but hills of fish.
Your Majesty, you should have seen the huge hilsa I caught. It was...
Stop it! Are you a courtier or a fisherman?
Let's check your understanding. Say true or false. Gopal started shouting in front of the palace. Option A, true. Option B, false. Well done. Good job. Why did the king want no more talk about the Hills of Fish? Because option A, king was happy. Option B, king was angry. Option C, king was tired. Well done. Good job. Let's have a look at glossary. Fishmonger, someone who sells fish. Downcast, looking down. Let's come back to the lesson.
The courtier fell silent with the downcast eyes. The king felt guilty. "I am sorry. I lost my temper. It is the season for hills of fish, and no one, not even Gopal, can stop anyone from talking about hills of fish. Not even for 5 minutes.
Oh, I think I could, Your Majesty.
Then let me see you buy a huge hillsaw and bring it to the palace without anyone asking you a word about it.
I accept the challenge, Your Majesty.
A few days later,
Why is your face half shaven? I'm dressing up to buy a fish. What is the matter with you? Why are you smearing yourself with ash? I told you I'm dressing up to buy a hilsa fish. Listen to me, please. You can't possibly go out in those disgraceful rags. What are you up to? How many times must I tell you, Oban? I'm out to buy a huge hilsa fish.
Check your understanding. Say true or false. The king lost his temper easily. Option A, true. Option B, false. Good going. Congrats. Why did the king ask Gopal to do to prove that he was clever? Option A, Gopal was so silent. Option B, Gopal was not an intelligent person. Option C, Gopal didn't stop talking about the hilsa fish. Excellent. Keep it up. Let's learn some new words. Smearing. Coat messily with a sticky substance. Disgraceful rags. Old and torn out pieces of cloth or clothing which are shameful or dishonorable. Get back to the lesson.
It's happened to him. He has gone mad.
Gopal bought the hillsaw fish and started walking towards the palace.
Mother, look at that man. Isn't he comical?
He must be a madman.
Shh. I think he is a mystic.
Check your understanding. Say true or false. Gopal was too poor to afford decent clothes. Option A, true. Option B, false. Well done. How did Gopal dress up to buy the hilsa fish? Option A, half shaven. Option B, full shaven. Option C, colorful clothes. Great job. Congrats. Let's see the glossary. Comical. Making you laugh. Mystic. Having spiritual powers are qualities that are difficult to understand or to explain. Now back to the lesson.
When Gopal reached the court, "What do you want?" "I want to see the king." "You can't see the king. Get away with you." Gopal began to dance and sing loudly. Inside the palace, "The man is crazy. Throw him out at once." "I want to see the king. Let me in." "Bring that man to me at once." "Yes, Your Majesty." Gopal was brought before the king. "It's Gopal." "The man has lost his mind. I think it is one of his crazy jokes." "All right, Gopal, out with it. Why are you dressed up in this ridiculous fashion?" "Your Majesty, you seem to have forgotten something." "Forgotten something?" "Strangely enough, no one seems to be interested in Hills of His today. From the market to the palace and in the court, not a soul has spoken a word about Hills of Fish." Only then did the king remember the challenge he had thrown to Gopal. "Ha ha ha ha! Gopal, congratulations! You have achieved the impossible once again."
Dear students, you have listened the story Gopal and the Hills of Fish very well. Now it's time for assess yourself that what would you have learned. Start your assessment. Click on the orange tab and get your question. Question number 1. In the story, all the people were talking about option A, festival, option B, Hills of Fish, option C, king. Click the right answer. If you are wrong, try again. Good job. Go to the next question. Question number 2. Who challenged Gopal to buy the Hills of Fish? Option A, courtier. Option B, Gopal's wife. Option C, king. Click the right answer. If you are wrong, try again. Good job. Go to the next question. Question number 3. Gopal was a clever man. Option A, true. Option B, false. Click the right answer. If you are wrong, try again. Well done. Now a puzzle is waiting for you. Solve the puzzle. Here you have 4 pieces of an image. Join the pieces and frame the image. Find what is it. Well done. Go to the next question. Question number 4. How did the people feel after looking at Gopal's appearance? He was a option A, clever man, option B, madman, option C, kind man. Click the right answer. If you are wrong, try again. Good job. Go to the next question. Question number 5. Why did Gopal's wife think he's gone mad? Because of his option A, disgraceful dress up, option B, good appearance, option C, colorful dress up. Click the right answer. If you are wrong, try again. Great job. Go to the next question. Question number 6. What did Gopal do in front of the king's palace? Option A, played. Option B, shouted. Option C, sang and danced. Click the right answer. If you are wrong, try again. Good job. Next, a puzzle is ready for you. Solve the puzzle. Here you have 8 pieces of an image. Join the pieces and frame the image. Tell what is it. Well done. Go to the next question. Question number 7. Gopal was too poor to afford decent clothes. Option A, true. Option B, false. Click the right answer. If you are wrong, try again. Good job. Go to the next question. Question number 8. Finally, what did the king do for Gopal's act? Option A, congratulated. Option B, scolded. Option C, punished. Click the right answer. If you are wrong, try again. Good job. Next, a puzzle is waiting for you. Solve the puzzle. Here you have 4 pieces of an image. Join the pieces and frame the image. Tell what is it. Well done. Now let's recap the lesson. It was the season for hilsa fish, and everyone was talking about it. In the market, fishmongers were selling only hilsa fish for the customers. Even in the royal court, courtiers were talking about hilsa fish. This made the king lose his temper. He believed that no one could stop the people from talking about hilsa fish. Not even Gopal, who was the wisest man in his court. The king challenged Gopal to buy a huge hilsa fish and bring it to the palace without anyone asking him about it. Gopal accepted the challenge and said him that he could bring a huge hilsa fish without anyone discussing a word about it. After a few days, Gopal shaved beard from half of his face and smeared ash on himself. He wore rags and looked disgraceful. His wife was shocked and asked him, not to leave home like this. But Gopal kept on telling her that he was going to buy a huge hilsa fish. She thought Gopal had gone mad. At the market, Gopal bought a huge hilsa fish and started walking towards the palace. On the way, people started pointing at him and laughed at his comical appearance. People started calling him with different names. Some called him madman and the others called him a mystic. However, Gopal didn't object as this was his plan. When he finally reached the palace, the gods asked him what he wanted. Gopal said he wanted to see the king. The gods denied entry after taking a look at his shabby appearance. After he couldn't go in, he started singing and dancing. Inside the palace, the noise created by Gopal made the king feel discomfort. He finally ordered the guards to let the madman in. When Gopal came in, everyone was shocked to see him like that. The king questioned Gopal about the reason for his weird attire. Gopal reminded the king about the challenge and told him that from the market to the royal palace, no one had asked him a single word about the hilsa fish. The king burst into laughter and accepted that Gopal had done the impossible once more. The king praised him for his wit and congratulated him for achieving the impossible. Like this, Gopal won the challenge that was given by the king, proving his wisdom to everyone.